Hi everyone, welcome back to Nurse Katherine here. Welcome back to another educational style video. In today's video, I want to talk about how to delegate. I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to properly and effectively delegate while you're on the job. So let's get started. I remember when coming out of nursing school, I was so scared to delegate tasks. They tried to get us to delegate in nursing school, like blood sugars and turning and propping, but as a student nurse, that didn't always go over well with the staff on the floor. So for those of you who are really nervous about transitioning from a student to a nurse and delegating tasks and not being overworked or exhausted or just nervous about your patient load, make sure you are listening to all of these 5 tasks because it can save you so much time and it will allow you to actually enjoy your job. So first and foremost, my first tip is actually know what you can and cannot delegate. Not all hospitals or not all offices, not all the ancillary staff can do the same stuff. So make sure you know what your patient care assistants or your CNAs can do, or your med techs, or your LPNs. Depending who you are working with, you actually have to know their job role because you are in charge of this patient assignment and they are there to help you and they are there to help, of course, the patient. So you have to know what you can and cannot delegate to them. Secondly, going off of the first tip, start your morning off with a huddle with your team. This was the most helpful thing I could have ever done. I actually didn't initiate this. One of the CNAs that I used to work with, actually she's a PCA, she used to initiate this in the morning and say, hey Katie, let's go sit down and let's talk about what you want me to do, what all of these patients need, and she would write it down on her piece of paper and I would be able to be like, this feels great. I know she knows what she needs to be doing. She's gonna do those tasks and this day is just gonna work out so well because she knows her job role, I know my job role, and we're helping each other as a team. That is huge when it comes to delegating, as a team to get the best outcome for this patient. A few of those points that you would sit down and talk about is blood sugar checks. Which patients need their sugar checked with breakfast, lunch, dinner, bedtime? Who are those patients? Is there a set time that those patients need blood sugar checks? Are they 2-hour chem sticks? Are they every hour? Are they 15-minute chem sticks? Who still needs a bath? Who still needs turned and propped every 2 hours or every hour? Who needs elevation to legs? Who needs this and that? Topics like that, that's something you want to talk about with your team to see who you can delegate those tasks to, because that's the nurse, a big chunk of your time will be assessing, giving meds, and wound care. Also, another topic that you can talk about delegating is ambulation. Do these patients need ambulation trials? Do they need ambulation trials when wearing oxygen, without wearing oxygen? All of that could be delegated at the hospital that I worked at, so I would delegate those tasks. Thirdly, in order to even delegate, you have to be able to ask for help. You can't say, I'm just gonna be able to do all of this myself and everyone's gonna get the care they need, because they probably will not if you are trying to take on too many tasks at once. You need to be aware that you do need help because this is a team that you're working with. It's not just you taking care of these patients, it's a team. So make sure you are asking for help, which leads me into my next tip, and that's actually how to verbally delegate something to a ancillary staff member. Make sure you are asking politely. You could always say, hey John, I need you to check the blood sugar for this patient because I'm going to go grab their insulin to give them. Like something like that. Make sure the staff member knows that you're not just sitting there on your phone messaging, making phone calls, personal phone calls, when you really had the time to get up and do it yourself. When you're delegating tasks that you cannot physically do yourself because you are too busy with your own assignments. Always ask politely, always say please and thank you, and never over delegate. You don't want to give this person too many tasks at once because that's how things get missed. And ultimately it will come back to your shoulders as the nurse, the one in charge of this team, if something is not done. And lastly, going off of the fourth point, know who you're delegating to, and also know, is that ancillary staff member being delegated to from other team members? Are other nurses coming to that one CNA or that one PCA and giving them tasks on top of the tasks that you're giving? So make sure you are talking with this person, seeing what their patient load is with all these other people who are trying to delegate to them as well. Because that's when the backlash comes in, and that's when people start rolling their eyes at you because they are getting overwhelmed, and it's not always necessarily something that you have said or something that you have done to make them do that. Maybe sometimes it is. Maybe you need to work on those delegation skills of smiling, saying please and thank you, or not over delegating tasks. But most of the time it's just because these people are swamped with tasks to do. So you might get some backlash sometimes. And if that does happen, make sure you are bringing that up to the person and say, oh, I'm sorry, John, are you not able to complete this? Are you too busy right now? I didn't mean to make you mad. So if somebody is backlashing at you, make sure you do bring that up to them right away so you can squash that, and so you don't have to sit on that the rest of the day, and you can ultimately have the best outcome for your patient. And those are my 5 tips for delegating for you guys. These tips will go a long way when used correctly. If you guys have any questions about delegating, please comment below. Don't forget to check out my Instagram channel. I did a live NCLEX review on delegating today, so that is in the reels. So you can go to my Instagram and check that out. You can find that in my banner at the top of my page. And don't forget to check back to my channel for more videos just like this. Tomorrow's video is all about patient prioritization. All right, that is it for today's video. I will see you guys in tomorrow's.